our main activity which we are doing here at Furaha Center is the occupational therapy and the daycare activities.
Hi, my good people. I'm Dr. Eunice Kobia Mwalim. Welcome to my Inuka channel. Kindly subscribe ndio tuinuane. Today we are going for a shoot just in the neighborhood. We have a rehab center here run by Mr. Marek and his family. Yep. It's a rehab center for children with cerebral palsy. It's called Furaha Center. So we want to see what goes on here because this is a challenge to a number of families, and most people, they do not really know what happens here or the challenges that mothers go with children with this cerebral palsy. Most of them, they have challenges with motor skills. You can already see this is one here with a young mother. And you know what, you may not know that these problems are there in the society. So part of bringing these stories to create awareness of such conditions that we have within our community. And we will also try to see how maybe we can also chip in something small. So this is the place, the Furaha Center. I've never been in Imagine, and I'm just a neighbor. Yeah. There is always a first time, eh? We need to give back to the community. Yeah, you can see the young mothers, eh? So these challenges are there, and sometimes we assume it's like they're not part of us. Dr. Eunice Mwalimu, nataka kuona au mko.
Sawa, ticha. Sawa mama. Karibu. Asante. Karibu sana. Karibuni.
Hello.
Yes, fine, thank you.
I've kept my promise.
Yes.
Tumekuja, this is my daughter Jumeta that today.
Yes.
We are just your neighbors across
Hello.
here.
Yeah.
You came down the drift, you come to your left.
Okay.
Yeah, there is that apartment there. As you go to once, have you ever gone to what do you call that? Daktari is
Kilingo.
Kilingo.
Yeah, I used to go there.
You used to go to look in Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin PZ. So after you turn to your right there is a perimeter wall there, color there.
Okay.
That's my place.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Karibu.
Asante sana.
Yes.
Yes. So Kiki, I think I've forgotten my kambuku kwa hiyo handbag. Nendo kalode. So you can have a seat here, and I promised I would send you the questions. Lakini kaona they are just normal things that we can talk. Okay, hi my people. This is Dr. Eunice Mwalimu. How have you been? It's long. Today is a very good day. They visited co-founders and a couple of Furaha Center. I'm not going to tell you, they will tell us what they deal with, but these are people who have gone out of their way to establish a rehabilitation center for our children that have neurological disorders. And I think my people, these are things that are within our community, but it's like we do not think or seriously about it. It's like it's not a problem, but I know it's a challenge within our community. So these are people that wanajitumanga, they go an extra way. So the last post we had another guest who handled the vulnerability of the aged. So I'm going an extra mile to bring out these challenges that we have in our community. So without further ado, let me give them an opportunity to introduce themselves to our viewers.
So first of all, most welcome in Furaha Center. Furaha Center is the center which was started in 2016 by us, by me, Marek Krakus, and my wife, Jadlin McKenna Krakus. And maybe I just introduce myself a little bit more. I come from Poland. I came to Kenya in 1998, so it is 25 years ago. And all this time I spend my time and working with children with special needs, with children with HIV. And in 2016, we decided together with my wife that we would like to start a rehabilitation center for children with cerebral palsy, autism, Down syndrome, and all other neurological disorders. Many people ask why in Meru, why this kind of children or this category of children. God posted me here. I was working in one of the children's homes within Meru County, and there I met my beautiful wife. And we had this passion towards helping children with different difficulties in their lives. And we realized that there is a big gap in society helping children with disabilities, especially in Meru County. And we decided to start Furaha Center. Furaha, as you know, means happiness.
Yes.
And we want to offer a little bit of happiness not only to the children, but also to their parents, to their relatives, to their friends, to their siblings, through offering the free occupational therapy and daycare for children within Meru County. Right now we have two centers. One is situated here in Kaga, just behind the School for Mentally Challenged Children. And second one is the center in Mikinduri Catholic Mission, where we send our therapists twice a week, every Tuesday and every Thursday. Our team is going to Mikinduri to offer the same facilities, means occupational therapy for children with mentioned categories.
Okay, thank you very much, Marek. Let your beautiful wife introduce herself to my viewers.
Yes, my name is Jadlin McKenna. I come from Igoji, a village called Birone, and
Oh, good.
Yes, yeah. And Furaha Center is a beautiful center with a very well-established sensory integration rooms. And we meet neurodevelopmental needs, kids with neurodevelopmental needs and neurological disorders. We also offer assistive devices. That includes the wheelchairs, clutches, commodes, and several others that, once we have them at hand, we dispatch them to the people that are most needy and that need them. Our therapy goes from 8 to 4 every Monday to Friday, and our activities carries on with occupational therapists and counselor. I am the counselor of the center and also an occupational therapist. I am the youngest therapist so far because I just came from school the other day. Yes, yeah, and we have several other therapists you'll see around so that you can have an idea of the kind of activities that we do have. I think Marek has already mentioned quite a lot about the center, which was started in 2016 to meet the needs of the children, you know, that most of the people do not like to be associated with kids with disabilities. And this is about also what we know. Like, I was brought up thinking someone with disability, you know, the way we are made to believe that someone with disability labda huko familia yao iko na wachawi, labda mama yake alitoka kwa ndoa ndio akapewa mtoto kama huyu. Those are all lies. It's about a condition that one is born with or can be gotten immediately after birth or within the course due to environment and some other causes. There are so many other causes that brings about the neurodevelopmental and the neurological disorders.
We are dealing with the professionals, watu wamesoma na wamezoea interviews, so they even going ahead of being. But that makes it very interesting because anyway, those are some of the areas that we want to cover. They are mentioned about them, but it's okay. So what I needed to ask you next, but I think you have already explained to the kawaida person. What are these neurological disorders, cerebral palsy? Okay, you mentioned that tuende pole waelewe. Yeah, what are these conditions? And maybe how prevalent is it? Because I was even to ask you, when did you decide on Meru or these other centers you mentioned, like Meru, Mikidori, you have mentioned even Marsabit? Could it be that the prevalence of these disorders is very high in those counties? Or
yeah, when you look at cerebral palsy, this is a condition that will cause abnormalities with movements, with speech, and you will find also it being combined with other disorders, for example like seizures and several other like speech problems. You will find swallowing issues. So most of it will get more associated with several other conditions that will make the progress of this child more difficult, especially there's no movement, there's issues of the swallowing. You find a child having issues with malnutrition.
We are talking about motor skills.
Yes, motor skills.
Yeah, it is the brain that is affected.
Yes.
During birth. Okay,
yeah. Because cerebral palsy is a lack of oxygen in the brain. And once that happens, it's going to affect the coordination of this child, both cognitive, physical, that is going to be affected.
And maybe if I can interject, it happens during birth, like if there is strained labor.
Yes.
If the mother, the labor is so much delayed, there is strain, the child will lack oxygen.
Yeah, yes. Although it can happen in 3 phases, it can happen before the child is born, during the term, the 9 months.
Okay.
Or it can happen during birth. That duration
Okay,
of the birth,
clarification.
and it can also happen after.
Okay.
Let's say you leave the hospital with a good child, smiling, breastfeeding well, and then maybe a child falls.
Okay, it can also affect.
A child, you leave a basin outside, a child drowns in that basin.
The brain can still be affected.
The brain can still be affected.
Yeah,
So because asphyxia can happen at any point, of someone's life. But when you talked about the prevalence, we according to the histories that we have taken from the center, a number of parents reported an issue during birth, prolonged labor. By the time I got to the hospital, things had happened. There was no care when I needed probably emergency, financial constraints. Because you see, for emergencies, yes, you need to have like a deposit of this kind of money. So you hear I had so much prolonged labor because of this and that condition. So most of the kids, I think it's only like one for drowning, and another one a snake bite, and another one was a dog bite. Most of the others, it's during birth. Cerebral palsy mentioned immediately during birth.
Okay, so my people who have learned most of the cases that we have from their statistics is during birth. And let's be a little bit empathetic, like in some hospitals, really, we value money more than life. And you see the consequences they will share with us that it's really a big challenge in families. Makina and Meru, I would want to hear from you, what are the challenges, real challenges that children that are in this condition go through? When you compare them with the normal
Yes,
babies.
I think that the biggest challenge, not only for the child but also for the families, is the stigma and discrimination of the families who have the child like this, with these conditions in their compound, in their home.
I want first, we talk about the children themselves. What are the challenges of the child, like the motor skills they are not able to do? That's what I want to hear from you.
Yeah, you see, when I look at, when you're asking about the child, play is the biggest occupation for a child. But when a child is not engaged with others socially, then we will have a challenge. Bearing in mind, we don't only deal with cerebral palsy, we have Down syndrome, we have spina bifida, we have hydrocephalus, we have autism, we have sensory processing disorders, and especially stuff like sensory processing disorder and autism. Those are social interaction skills and communication skills that kids need to have, which are very essential for a growing child. But then you find this child, if this child cannot be admitted in a school,
in a normal school,
then they will not be able to gather those skills. For example, when I'm looking at eye contact of a child with autism, they need to learn that kids look at each other. When I'm looking at fine motor skills, for that child to be able to hold the pen and write, I need the eye contact. And these kids, they learn more by looking at other kids. So this is already a challenge, whereby we are looking at this child, we are looking at the disability before we look at the child. This child needs to interact with all the others, like in a normal setting. And then you find now this, it is spreads out. It now goes to the families, whereby you will find now the mother feeling that I can't take this child anywhere. I just have to stay with them across the Tanzania. I'll stay with them. Wataanza sasa kuitwa huyu ni mwenda wazimu, asikizangi, aketingi, ni kichongimu, because if we also get kids, we normally get kids with learning disabilities or learning difficulties, and most of them are very specific, like dyslexia, whereby you find a child cannot write and cannot read. So you have to start with endurance, pole-pole, you train pole-pole, and you find alternatives to have this child learn. Because as occupational therapists, I always believe that learning is not necessarily when you write.
Sure.
it's not about reading. Because I can converse very well, I can be very conversant, all languages and everything, and I may not be able to write, and I may not be able to read. So we need to have like an open-minded, that not everyone can learn and not everyone can read. How we have to now integrate those children in our different settings. Can they use a computer to make their work easier? Because they get tired so easily, they get distracted, bored, so easily. So even the schools where these kids go, we are praying and hopeful that this kind of interactions will be able to be integrated, to cut off that challenge that we are getting with kids.
Okay.
Yeah, because there are very few schools that accept kids with disabilities. It's not only cerebral palsy, that cuts across from ASD, from sensory processing, from specific learning disorders, so everything.
We usually also say that the best therapy which we can offer, which is not very professional, is the social therapy. So it means that this child should be involved in normal activities of the family, even if the family gathering, church going, attending different functions, because once we close this child out of our life or exclude this child from our normal social life, even to go to the shopping center, or this child has to see that this is the car, this is the tree, this is another person, this is another child. So we encourage our parents, those who are attending the therapy in our center, not only to attend the therapy, but also be a therapist within their own setups.
Environment. I think that's very beautiful. Actually, I'm very happy with what you brought up, because even the community, the people, because these children come from our communities, they should also embrace or accommodate them, accept them. Because I've seen even parents being discriminated when they even go with them either to church or these social gatherings. Some people may think that these children are not disciplined enough when they are very hyper, like those who get autism, isn't it? And then they think maybe these parents are very lenient.
Yes.
So I think it's a great lesson. My people, the viewers, please let's also try to do something that we do not only have the people that have these centers, that I think we also have a role to play. And I had asked you, and it's like maybe you have said it, but I would want us to add it in details. What about the parents? Because like now when I was coming up here, I've seen even young mothers, people in their 20s, in their 30s. How does it affect the human life when you are with this kind of disability?
Well, from our experience, we have noticed that also many of our clients, of our children, unfortunately, they are left first by their fathers, then by their mothers, to the grandparents. So most of the young mothers who are getting the child with these disorders, they also feel like they would like to start a new life, because maybe their husbands, they left them or sent them back home to their families, and they also feel that they would like to start a new life. That's why this child is abandoned, if I may say, or left with the grandparents. And especially in the rural setup, we notice that many of our children in Kinduri, even in Meru here, they are coming or they are brought by their grandmothers to the center. So I think this is really very important things to notice. That and also, well, we can't generalize, we cannot say that 100%, but many of those parents, they have difficulty with accepting their own child as their own child, as it is, with disability, with autism, with Down syndrome, or because the child looks different than others. And I think that the first challenge for the parents is to accept and love this child as he is. I know that it's not very easy. It must be very, very difficult because the time of 9 months of pregnancy, the parents really they expect that their child will be born healthy. Then it happens what happens, and the child maybe has the cerebral palsy, has different disorders, and now that challenge comes to accept this child as my own child and love him or her as she or he is. And of course, as I said, we can't say that all parents they have this challenge. Many they really love these children if they are firstborn or second or thirdborn in their families like any other child, or even more. That's why they are bringing them for the therapy. It is a lot of sacrifices which these parents experience in their today lives because this child needs special care. Maybe the parents they can't even work in any place. That's why we came up with an idea of daycare center. It is not the children home and never will be in our plans, but we want to take a part of responsibility from the parents to assist them to live normal life, to go to work, to meet friends. And we, with all our abilities and our staff, will be taking care from, let's say, 8 to 4.
Okay, before we come to that, I think it's like you have indicated that some of the mothers, they even get separated from they get, is it separated or even divorced when they get their children. Could you also be saying that they get stigmatized? Could we say that it is stigma more, the burden that they carry?
Yes, that is more of stigma because let's say someone gives birth to a family and this child comes the cerebral palsy or ASD, and then the father just comes up with the mother-in-law and says, you know what, in our family we don't have this kind of a child. What will be the end of that? The mother will end up being single and taking care of the child all alone. So there's still a lot of stigma and discrimination, but ni stigma mambo leo, sio kama ile ya kitambo, the way kijiji has to know. Yes. They will find a way to get you out with that child. Okay. Yes, they will always find out because when you hear the stories, they kind of create a story out of nowhere, and this mother has to go and will go with that child. And then thereafter, that's when you hear, oh, our family doesn't have such kind of kids, so you will return him where you got it from, you know. So it is there. It is there.
So my good people, you can see why we need to get more awareness of this, because now it's even affecting the society, the girl child. This is a very normal lady who was ready for a marriage. She needed a marriage to work. But because of things that were not under control, she gets blessed with such kind of a child. But then you see the society or the families that maybe they get married to may not have that level of understanding. So we all need at least to know that. Still, I'll repeat that we have a role to create this awareness so that these people can live normal lives. Imagine, like they have said, if you have this kind of a child, it's like you are timed 24/7. This is a child who cannot do the normal hygiene for themselves. They can't feed themselves. They cannot move independently. So it's really a great burden. So that's why such kind of people have come up with such an initiative. We need to celebrate them. You have really gotten out of your way. You are carrying other people's burden, but you see a community mostly. Well, when it has not come, when it has not been your problem, you think it is other people's problem, yes. But it is affecting us. Are there any myths or misconceptions within this community of ours, either in Meru or in Marsabit, or generally maybe worldwide, that people associate with the children with these neurological disorders?
Yeah, I think what I have heard mostly, especially in Mikindori, is that your familia ni ya wachawi. So hakuwezi kosa mtu kama
Sasa
huyo.
udini watu wangu wa Mikindori, you are letting me down. I come from there.
Yeah. Unasikia hivyo ama then
Well,
the
we
ones-
mentioned Mikinduri
It's
because
okay.
we work there,
Yes.
but that might happen in
Anywhere.
any other part of or sub-counties of this county.
Yeah.
It is okay. Let's continue, Makena.
Yeah, unasikia hiyo familia ni ya watu wa wachawi, sijui, you know, those kind of things. So that is one thing that we totally had. And then they should not be seen, you know, usimtoe asio.
Our main activity which we are doing here at Furaha Center is the occupational therapy and the daycare activities, but also we don't leave out the activities for parents. And many times we also give them some small employment. They can assist the center, but also they will be paid for. And we also have projects which assist the families direct, like goats for families. We provided more than 70 goats, these Toggenberg goats,
Okay.
which we got from our donors.
200 and
Yeah.
plus for juice.
Okay.
Yes,
Maybe
so
goods.
this it was looking like a very simple project, but we realized that that project of goods, it helped a lot the children themselves, not only because they get the milk, but also we of course were giving these goods to the families or to the parents who are very active in the therapy process, in the therapy sessions. And many others, they were asking, why I didn't receive the goat and you have received this. Normally in the village happens because people hear about that project. And then the answer is very simple, because you are not active, because you are not bringing your child for the therapy. So indirectly we reach the child through the goat. So the parents, let's say, if they want to receive the goat from the foundation, Help Furaha Foundation from Europe, they need to be active. And if they are active, we are helping more and more the child or children in need. So these are the one of our projects which is really very, very successful. Other activities in the center may be more professionally. Jadlin can handle.
Yes, Makena. Yeah.
Occupational therapy being we look at occupations, and the occupation for child is play. So we have a very well established sensory integration and the therapeutic items that we use, and we use different methods to reach the kids. So we have a dark room, we have a semi-dark room, we have a vestibular room, and we have a room that is just open. We want to start using donkeys with the animal assisted therapy, which is in the center farm in Ruire. So very, very soon we'll be starting up that. And right now we use the rabbits for that, for the touch, closeness, care, you know, like every other normal boy as a rabbit, as a pet, as a dog, as something. So our kids use rabbits because they are more kind, they don't scratch, and when you touch them they calm down, they are like not hyped when you rub them. So, and then we are training two donkeys also now that will start slowly. We'll take the kids there because we believe occupational performance, it happens when there is an interaction between the person, the environment, and the occupation itself. So if you find that one happening, there is an interaction with all those. Even us, where we come from, we have an environment that we live in, and has the people and what we do every day, which includes our activities of daily living and instrumental activities of daily living. So yes, we have myriad activities, both for PSD, the ones with the specific learning disorders, cerebral palsy, all conditions regarding pediatric autistic care.
Thank you so much. What is the cost? Watoto mnawapeanga bure ama kuna kitu wanatoa? want to
We
access
do
the
not
services?
charge therapy.
Okay.
It's only the assessment fee. Because the assessment takes long, and there are also things that we look at when we're doing the assessment. So the assessment fee is 1,000. Yeah, therapy is free. We don't charge. Even if a parent decides to choose like 3 or 4 sessions, therapy is totally free. And you know, therapy is expensive. By the way, rehabilitation is really expensive in Kenya, because for private institutions, let's say, you're supposed to be charging 3,500 per hour. But thank God to the Help Furaha Foundation, it has really helped us take care of all those costs. And we are also getting donations and other help from the Meru business community, which helps take care of such costs.
Okay.
Yeah, of therapy.
I think that's the next question I was coming to, but it's also involved. I wanted to ask you whether you get any support. Do you get any support from either the government, county, national, or how do you get support?
Our support is mostly from the foundation that is in Poland and in Italy, and then the local business community, like we have the Motiva Toyota, Aruna Yubensa, Silver Spread, that support our activities that we do in Meru. And also well-wishers. We find well-wishers, they donate to us even like stuff like wheelchairs, which are very expensive, because a piece like of the ones that we have right now is retailing at 29,000 to 30,000. Some places even 35,000. The commodes is like 10,000, but we have an organization that sponsors that for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't get any support from the either national government or county government so far.
Okay.
At least maybe if we can appeal to the government, to county government, if they could chip in many different ways, small or bigger, to assist this kind of institutions, not only Furaha Center, but maybe also others who are dealing with children with disabilities. We will really appreciate. But as Justin mentioned, we really rely on donors or good wishers, people who really come to visit and bring some food stuff or even maybe some financial support. And yes, we appeal to the community, local community, business people, if they can share with us a little. We will really appreciate, because we are serving and we try to help as much as possible in the best way possible to assist these children.
Okay, so first thing, I think we are doing well. Can you talk to our viewers, maybe in a manner to tell them the role they can also play? Because the community, like I said earlier, they normally feel like they have no business. Whereas in their own little way, maybe they can also do something. Maybe Makena, talk to our people. Hata kama my viewers, tunaendelea tu kujengeka, watakuwa wengi.
Of course you have a role to play at Furaha Center. As the name goes, Furaha, we mean happiness. So everyone is welcome to Furaha Center in the form of as a volunteer. You can be a volunteer, like we have a girl here now who is volunteering with us. You can bring any little, even a debe of potatoes, carrots, bananas, anything, fruits, clothes.
Okay.
Yeah, that we take even to the other even to the other center that we have. And feel free, you're welcome. And also creating awareness. The biggest favor actually you can do for us is getting that child that is out there being attended for therapy, because we are able to take care of that when it's early, when it's not too late. Because once we get a child coming in when it is too late, our hands are tied. We don't have much to do at that point. So be our ambassadors out there. Tell them that there is Furaha Center that you've heard about, and let them bring the children to the center.
So how can they reach you?
Our numbers are 0727 077 844. 0727 077 844. And for any other support, maybe financial support or something, our pay bill number is 867244. It's a buy goods and services.
Till number, that's a till number.
Yeah, it's a till number.
Okay, tell them about the location. You know, we are assuming here in Meru, where are you located?
Yes.
The pin.
Yeah, we are at Kaga, just close to El Hal petrol station. On the Maram road, like you're going to Kongwasheke, it's called, I think so. Yeah, and slightly before the tarmac. I'm not so good with directions.
Okay, then yes, sister, my people, Furaha Center is located along Meru Maua Highway, just behind Meru School for the mentally challenged children or mentally and differently abled children. It's just behind there, between just behind what we call Pamwega or Poshmark area, between Poshmark and
now it's called Movan Hardware.
Or Movan Hardware. But the best location is just behind Meru School for the mentally challenged. Karibuni sana, please come and check on what they are doing, motivate them even by coming even to call on them, saying even hi, and seeing what they are doing. The little that you can bring along with you, they have said they can accept goodies, clothes, kama uko na manguo ya watoto and they are no longer in the nest, just to bring them here, they will know where to distribute. So we'll give you that number and kindly reach out to them. The co-founders, I'm very proud as Dr. Eunice Mwadilima. At least I'm also doing a little thing by creating this awareness. And getting my people to know you. Asante sana, and it will bless you.
Thank
God
you.
bless you too. Thank you so much.
Okay. So this is the assessment room. We were enjoying what you are doing. What happens here?
Whereby we run the activities, especially for the ones with the sensory processing disorders here, and the autism, and also like cerebral palsy, when we want like to trigger those the lightings, and because they are seen better in this dark room, and then also the activities that are carried out here. These are the learning activities. This is a sensory mat. When I was talking about the activities, this is among the things that we do have. All these they are not just toys. These are learning materials. You learn the colors, you learn how to move them because of the fine motor skills, and counting. This it's a puzzle, but you start by counting from one as you go ahead. Music, and then this is like a game, to help with the concentration. Yeah, all this is specifically for that and all that. Yeah. Yeah, so this has more of the vestibular items, like such as swing for vestibulation, balance and equilibrium. And then we have also the trampoline for that. And all those are balancing items. Then of course the activities just like the other places. Yeah. This one is the simplest, but also still the same thing setup with all the activities, and mostly for occupational therapy we work from down because you find a lot of kids with movement issues. So when you're working on top of the hospital bed, it becomes very difficult both for the ergonomics of the occupational therapists, and also it's easy to drop the child. And then most of the activities of a child works from the ground. The child starts crawling from the ground, will touch the ground before they stand up. So that is the concept. We try to carry the more natural way of training as much as possible. That's why everything is from down. Only that room as a bed because it's the assessment room. All the others is from the down.
Mama.
Good boy. There you go.
Very good. Shika. Sasa unafanya nini? Usirushe kwanza. Step mbili kuja mbele. 1.
Boys are happy, we are happy teachers, we are happy teachers. The girls are happy, the girls are happy.